Purdue looked like Purdue again. Big win at home, Mackey Arena. What else should we expect at this point? Domination of the Hawkeyes. What'd you see?
Yeah, I mean, there's not probably a more. I'll expand this. I don't even want to put it in college basketball. I don't think there's a more dangerous position to be in than facing Purdue and Mackey off of a loss. I mean, that's an absolute a terror of a thing to overcome. It's a terror of a thing to overcome Purdue in Mackey alone. You don't want to see Purdue and Mackey off a loss. For the statistician heads out there, for the historians of Mackey and Purdue basketball, I would love to know if there's actually a stat if they have ever lost like back to back, like coming back to Mackey. I would love to see it. But honestly, I don't want to come on here and be like there's not really much to say, but to be honest, I mean they played extremely well. I thought guys played extremely well. I thought guys they were able to dominate defensively. They held Iowa to 38% from the field and 33% from three. I think that's very good for an Iowa team that I consider to be good offensively. So I think they did what needed to be done and they handled it. I don't think this score is even indicative of how dominant Purdue was in this game. I think they ended up winning by, what was it, 19 points? Was it?
Yeah, 19
Yeah,
point win. It
this
was
this this had the feel of a 40-point win.
Yeah, it was in between in our preview that I did with the Boilers in the Stands guys. Craig and Joe were on, and our predictions ended up being like polar opposite ends of what actually happened. I had Iowa winning by like 20, or sorry, Purdue winning by like 25. The guys had an 11-point game, I believe. And I think both of them kind of insisted it was going to be like a backdoor cover type thing, like Purdue's comfortable lead, and then Iowa turns it on late. It was a comfortable lead, and Iowa turned it on late. It just still was a 20-point win, essentially, 19 in the end. We're gonna do a thing that we rarely do when we talk about Purdue. I want to talk about the other team first, if you don't mind.
Oh,
I think
please.
I think Iowa's really bad.
Yeah. Yes, they are. They are. I do. I will say I like Creaky.
Cricky.
Cricky. Sorry.
Crikey.
I thought it was Crikey.
Can like when he plays well, can it be Crikey?
Yeah, like Crikey, mate.
Yeah. Crikey
Yeah.
is Ben Crikey.
Little shrimp on the bobby.
Was
But
he Ben Crikey tonight, or was he Ben Creaky?
he was Benjamin K.
Okay.
He was really good, but they got smacked.
He was really good, though. I mean, yeah, I don't know. This had all the Iowa hits, right? This had the Fran technical early. I just feel like this is the kids bop version of Iowa. I think I'm going to run with that this season. Like this feels like the G-rated, safe for the family version of Iowa. There's no pro here. There's no first team All Big Ten player here. There's still all the nepotism. There's still all the Fran running around. There's still the no defense, and there's still a little bit of shooting. But in general, like this team's gross. They're not good. They don't have high-end talent. People wanted to tell me all summer that Peyton Sanford's the best player on this team. Well, guess what? Peyton Sanford stinks, okay? And this is disrespectful, but he's Luke Goody with a good PR team. That's who he is. And Luke Goody's the difference. Luke Goody makes his shots. Luke Goody shoots like 40% and upwards from three every game. Peyton Sanford is a career 33% three-point shooter. And everybody wants to say he's incredible. I don't get it. He has nothing. He had nothing he could do against this Purdue team. So, yeah, Purdue, give you credit. You looked like the number one team in the country again. You won a game by 30. That's awesome. It's a Big Ten game. Mackey was popping, blah, blah, blah. I'm all in on Purdue, as everybody knows. But Iowa stinks, and I'm not changing my tune on that. Purdue did what they should have done, but I'm just so unimpressed with that team.
Yeah, and I apologize to anyone who's coming here for like some very deep in nuanced thoughts about what Purdue did in this game, but like just to put it lightly, they played extremely well. They did. Like everyone played well. Lance Jones played well. Fletcher played well. Braden once again was sleepwalking somewhat. I really don't know what to call it, but I don't necessarily think he played bad. Like he just didn't. I don't know what word I would use for
I know
it.
what it was. What it was. So Braden against bad defenses is so much more of a just like I'm gonna get my guys shots.
Okay,
That's all it was.
that's what it looked like to me. And you have Edey come out 9 for 10, just sleepwalk his way, quick 25 and 12 and 24 minutes, just something extremely light. Trey Kaufman ran with 10 and 7 and 23 minutes, 5 for 9 from the field. I mean, everything was kind of just very, very light to Purdue. This is Fran's last season with Iowa.
Whoa, we're going
This is
spice.
this is really shaping up like I'm on the way out tour. It has the feeling of that.
Am I getting hired?
You should be, and you might have to bring the Twitter bio back.
I want to fix it. Except, doesn't he want to coach Brock Harding though?
I think Brock's gone.
Really?
Yeah, I think we are watching the fall, if you want to call it that, of Iowa basketball as we know it. There's going to be a transition to Iowa basketball coming up.
Okay.
It just feels like that. Like, I mean, we heard the rumblings in the offseason, like Fran's youngest son is not even considering going to Iowa. So, like, this is it. He's coaching Patrick in his last season. It's not going to be that great of a season. He's going to get a couple FranCon moments on his way out and go 17 and whatever, or 15 and whatever, and just say, you know what, it's time.
You could be right. Counterpoint, maybe his youngest son is just smart and knows his dad's a disaster and doesn't want to go there. Also, Peyton Sanford's going to be super great on Syracuse if that actually happens for his final year. He'd be really good.
He's not going. He's going to go to like Clemson.
You think so? Joe Girard 2.0?
Yeah, kind of like that.
I don't hate that. Okay, we should probably talk a little more in depth on Purdue. What else?
I just got the funniest like thought and vision of a backcourt, like the three is you have Judah Minch, JJ Starling, and Peyton Sanford.
Yeah, I don't want
that.
How
mad they would get at Peyton Sanford for stuff that they probably did wrong.
I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Okay, quick Purdue thoughts from me. First of all, Purdue, thank you. You won me a bunch of money tonight. I placed 5 pregame bets, Carter. This is what I placed. I placed Purdue to cover 12.5 points. Won that. I placed Zach Edey alternate line 30 points. He did not get there. He did not play the final 12 minutes of this game. He finished with 25. I placed Kaufman-Wren alternate line 8 points, got there with ease. I placed Lance Jones alternate line 15 points, got there with ease.
What did you do?
I placed Mason Gillis alternate line 8 points, got there with ease. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I should have sent this all to the Dub Club, but here's the bottom line. We're playing Iowa's defense. I'm going to bet alternate line every single Purdue player, and I'm going to hit at least 2 of them. It turns out I hit 4 of the 5 bets that I placed tonight, all at plus money odds. Shout out the Boilers. Boiler up. Yes, I did bet Lance Jones points. You have been suspiciously absent from all of the recent conversations, while Lance Jones has started to play better.
Well, no, this is the thing, though. Lance Jones at Mackey versus bad teams is
that's what we're doing now. That's what we're doing now.
He is.
Okay. Can we have a serious Lance Jones dialogue for a second? Just like a totally
we can. But can I tell you a phrase that resonates with me throughout my life, Gregory? And it's a soccer reference. Any team in the Premier League can do it at the crib. You know, Liverpool, they can do it at Anfield. Manchester City can do it at the Etihad. Chelsea can do it at Stamford Bridge. Can they do it on a cold Wednesday, rainy night against Stoke City? That's when you find the real ballers. Can Lance Jones do it on a cold, dirty Friday night in Evanston with no bar surrounding and hot dogs with nothing on it? Can they do that? I don't know. I got to see it from Lance.
That seemed like it was just a bit so that you could show off your football location knowledge. Okay. All right. Serious Lance Jones dialogue I would like to have with you. I'll start simple. Okay. We're not going to go drastic here. I think it's obvious at this point that Lance Jones is more important to this team than you and I thought. Can we agree on that?
Yes, he is.
And that no matter what we think or say, Lance Jones is going to be the 4th, if not higher, most minutes played every single night. Like, he's one of their 4. It's Edey, Braden, Fletcher, and Lance. It is officially that.
Because Lance is the only guy outside of Edey on this basketball team outside of Edey and Gillis on this basketball team that I think wants to be physical. I think he's the only guard that truly wants to be physical and has the means to do that. I'm not saying Braden shies away from things like that. But Lance also just has more mass, hashtag base to him than Braden does. So he's able to be physical with him. And, even speaking back to the last game against Northwestern, my biggest gripe with Lance was, if you're that physical of a player and you're that much of a dog defensively, you get through those screens. You don't let Boo Booey hunt out switches and hunt out Fletcher Lawyer. I think he has the ability to do that. But I will tell you that I am with you, and I think it should be a universal agreement that Lance Jones is very, very important to this basketball team for what he can bring physically and defensively. I will stay very, very strong that it still scares me because Lance Jones still thinks that he's the best player on the team in my eyes. And that's scary and good at the same time. He takes some absolutely wild shots. Truly wild.
I think he's learning, though. I think his hardest thing is I still don't think he knows how to play with Edey more than anything. Like he's when he does throw the ball to Edey, it feels like he throws it at the wrong time and he forces it. And then when he should throw the ball to Edey and it's obvious, he shoots it instead. But tonight, no way to criticize it. 17 points in 18 minutes. He had 3 threes. He had 2 assists to 1 turnover. He had 2 steals in only 18 minutes. I mean, that's essentially the perfect Lance Jones game you could get, except play 10 more minutes against a really good team. And all in all, he's made a 3 now in 8 consecutive games. He's made 3 threes or more in 3 of his last 4 games. I really think he has taken a quick leap in a good way for Purdue. So there you go. We'll keep talking about it. I liked what I saw from Fletch tonight. I also thought this was a conscious thought I had. It must be so fun to be Fletcher Lawyer and play with Braden Smith. I know we talk about when I play pickup, what my role is. My ideal role on a pickup basketball team is Fletcher Lawyer playing with Braden Smith. It's perfect.
Oh, it's great. It's great. You have Braden Smith to your right, and then you have Zach Edey in the post.
Even without Edey, though, I think if you dropped Fletcher Lawyer on Butler with Posh Alexander, he looks so much worse than he does on a team with Braden Smith. And he had the big 3. It was his second 3 of the first half, but it just brought Mackey Arena to its knees. I know there was an elderly couple in the 3rd row from the top, just falling over each other when the shot went down. But you could see it literally. Fletcher was running in transition to catch off a flare on the fly from NBA range. And Braden knew the entire time that's where the ball was going, but he was looking at it. It was just special. Now, I don't think that shit works against better teams. So it's really fun when Braden and Fletcher get to do that against Iowa. It doesn't really work that way. And that's still, I don't know. I just have such a sour taste in my mouth on Braden after the last 2 games. I know that's crazy, but
I think it's fair to do that because we hold Braden to such a high standard, though. I think that's where people get somewhat lost in translation. We do all the talk about Braden being great and doing things really great, but coming with that is we hold him to a higher standard because we think that he has the ability to be one of the best point guards in the country. And the price yesterday is not the price today for Braden, and he needs to be held to a higher standard. And I think even he would agree with that because he's that good of a player that he should be held to the standard of the great point guards in the country.
Yeah. And I know I already said it, against lesser defenses, he's just trying to get everybody else involved. It is what it is. With that said, we had a conversation a couple weeks ago about what if it was Braden or Doug? Who you taking, Braden or Doug? I don't care what the setting is. I don't care who the teammates are around him. There will never, ever, ever be a game where Doug McDaniel goes for 2 points in a game this season.
That's very, very true.
And that's not the definition of who's a better player, but can't you get other guys involved and also go get your 8 to 10, Braden?
I love Braden. You know this. I love a lot of point guards in the country. I don't think there's a point guard in the country right now that I don't care what you say, whether it be oh, your team's not as good. I don't really care. If I'm starting my team with a point guard, I think I'm starting it with Doug, and I don't care because that's who I personally feel I want my point guard to be.
I love you for saying that because that makes me feel like you and I can have a great, fun year together, no matter how many games Michigan loses. I really like that. Okay. I have one final thing on Purdue. No, sorry, 2 things. They got to play Heidi and Colvin more, I think. They both got 14 minutes tonight. Mason Gillis got 13 minutes tonight for reference. And like, everybody else was between 18 and 25 that played, all the usual names. But, Brian Waddell at this point is just a walk-on again. Will Berg's never going to play. So it's really like Heidi, Colvin, and sometimes Gillis who are out of the rotation. And Gillis is usually in the rotation. So it was weird that he was the low guy tonight. But Heidi and Colvin are the two that like actually bring something else to this team to me. And I do truly believe Purdue needs them. Like we have to get to March. And I think one of those two at minimum has to be like a 15-minute a game against a good opponent guy. And against Northwestern, Heidi was, Colvin wasn't. But I like what I'm seeing from Colvin right now.
Yeah, I think that even in small minutes and small doses, like I've seen enough where I would, and if Painter's reluctant, like this would have been a perfect game to throw out Colvin for 20 or Heidi for 20. Like this is a game to do that, I think. I don't think it's a game where he can necessarily get exposed. I think it's a game where he can get comfortable. It's against a Big Ten opponent. Like this is a game to build them up, I think. And, once again, people know how I do with minutes and things like that. I don't know how you distribute or how it does. In my head, I'm like, those guys should eat at some of like TKR's minutes or some other, like you need to do something as far as cutting somebody's minutes here and there somehow to get those guys on the floor more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And last thing, to get them on the floor more, to figure out maybe who's going to be the one guy who gets it all moving forward and becomes like the 15-minute guy that's in the rotation steadily moving forward.
Yeah, Colvin was 0 for 4 from 3 in this game. And he shot the ball really well in other games. And I'm still coming away being like, damn, I want to see more of him. Like, he had a really nice baseline dunk. Like, he drove baseline, hit the 3. In general, hold on. Oh, no.
But
1 second. I'm so mad.
What happened?
Arkansas is the biggest dickhead group I've ever seen. They just up 12, secured a rebound. Furman quit, and they threw the ball ahead for a dunk. They win by 14. They cover. I had 12 and a half.
That's crazy.
I can't. I thought I'm just like watching them dribble the timeout. I thought I won. I'm so sorry, Purdue fans. That's just the story of my betting daily picks this whole year. Like, what just happened? Goodness. How do I recover from this? Yeah, I want to see more Colvin. That's the point. Back to my one other thing. I want to formally declare. I'm in on this Purdue team if they can figure out the 4 spot, and I think the answer is Mason Gillis.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, pains me to say this, I cannot be fully in on this Purdue team to the level I want to be in on them.
Why?
It's because of Fletch to me.
Whoa, wasn't expecting that. Elaborate.
I don't think he's consistently enough offensively at this point to warrant how bad he is defensively.
Okay.
And I think that good coaches and good players hunt him and they get him. So if they can figure out some ways to get around him getting hunted and scored on, I'm fine with that. I'm also fine with him being hunted and scored on. Like, not everybody can be some absolutely astronomical defender, but you damn sure better be getting something on the other end.
Yeah.
That evens it out.
I have like long-term Fletch concerns, but as far as it impacts this team with his role, I'm not worried about. Honestly, he won me over in the Tennessee game where he was just super tough. Yeah. Like,
can I flip this on you for the last thing?
Yeah.
How many players on Purdue do you trust?
Depends on when you're asking me if I trust them. Like on a Monday night in Mackey against Iowa?
No, it's late February in Big Ten play deep in there. How many do you trust on the road?
Against so you're telling me like at the Kohl Center, down 2 with a minute left in the last week of February.
Yeah. Who do you trust?
Who do I trust on Purdue?
Yeah.
I trust Zach Edey. I trust Mason Gillis. And I trust Braden Smith.
Okay. For me right now, as of 10:04 p.m. on Monday, December, whatever date it is, I trust Zach Edey and I trust Mason Gillis.
I think that would be my answer too if you had like set the date a week later. It's still if it's February, I'm in on Braden.
Okay.
And if is Boo Booey anywhere near the vicinity?
No.
Okay. And yes. Yeah, Braden counts. I'm good. I'm good with that.
Okay.
All right. All in all, good win, Purdue. Boiler up, all that. You guys are good. Yeah, we'll talk to you next time.